Hi guys, Mandy from Olives Tree. Welcome to the channel. If this is the first time you stopped by, I hope you find some of this, some of the content on here is quite interesting, and I hope you enjoy, being here. And if you're a regular viewer, thanks for your support. I really appreciate it. I'm in the middle today of making a family dinner. We haven't had one for a couple of months. One of our daughters has been away, and we're having porcupine balls as one of our dishes. And I'm just going to show you how I put them together. They're a really easy, yummy thing to make, and everyone loves them. So let's have a look at what I've got down here. Okay, so on this board I've got a medium onion that I've chopped. I've got some cloves of garlic, and I've got some rosemary, basil, oregano, and some thyme from my garden, which I have washed really well. And I'm about to pull some leaves off these herbs. And gosh, they smell so beautiful. Fresh herbs are just lovely. And I always try and have them in the garden, even if you have to put them in pots. They grow really, very successfully in pots. And gosh, they're so expensive to buy. So, it makes sense. Even if you go to the supermarket and they have a basil, and they'll have it and it'll be in a little pot. If you take that home and just plant that in the garden, it'll grow. Take off what you want, of course. I might go for a little bit more rosemary than that. And I love oregano. It's one of my all-time favorites. So I need to pick some of this and start drying it, actually. And I did pick a couple of little, pieces of thyme as well. I just thought that would be a nice addition. So I'm just going to, pop in a little bit of thyme. I don't want a great deal of thyme. I'm just going to, get a few here and there. That'll be right. And I might take all of that oregano, I think. I know it looks like a lot, but if you were to dry this amount of herbs, you'd be, quite surprised that it goes down to such a small amount. I like to flavour the porcupine balls, which if you haven't had them before, they are a bake in the oven meatball that has raw rice in them at the start, and that rice cooks through them, during their time in the oven, and they're just delicious, They make the best meatball subs in the entire universe. They're just wonderful. Everyone loves them. So, you can make them your own, do things a little bit different with the spices if you want to. Alrighty, so I'm just going to get you over this way a little bit so you can see what's going on in this bowl. So in this bowl, I have 1/2 kilo of pork mince and 1/2 kilo of beef mince. And to that, I'm going to add 2 eggs. And I'm not cracking these into a cup first because these eggs have come directly from a farm, fresh as in, yesterday. I've never had to worry about that. And sometimes I do if I'm a bit nervous or I think how old are they, I might. So I'm going to put in, that much salt. And to that, we'll add a good grinding of black pepper. And these meats are very lean, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit, because I don't want them drying out. We're not going to put any breadcrumbs or anything in them, just a little bit of that. And I'm going to add a, tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. On top of that, the last ingredient that I like to put in is a teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder. You don't need this, but I just appreciate the extra flavour. So, that's beef. Got the wrong one. I do want chicken today. I'll just grab the chicken. What was I thinking? There it is. Okay. Back with the chicken, and it's salt reduced. I always get the salt reduced one. I think, you can, add a little bit. So about that much chicken powder, chicken bouillon powder. As I said, that's not essential. It's just something I like to add. Now to that, I'm going to add most of these herbs and garlic, most of the garlic. In fact, I can add all of the garlic because it will come out in the sauce flavour, and it could not be easier, this recipe. Okay, we're just going to get all of the onion in there. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick that up. And on top of that, I've got 1 cup of any rice that you have in your cupboard. Basmati, short grain, long grain, jasmine, arborio, pudding rice, you know, whatever you've got, okay? All right, so now we've got that sorted. I'm just going to put a pair of gloves on. And you don't have to wear gloves, but I have sore hands from my treatment at the moment, and they're a bit dry, and I just don't want any, you know, I just think it's the right thing to do. And all you've got to do then is, you know, go in here with your hands. This is a double recipe. Now these freeze very well raw. They freeze very well in the sauce. The chances of you having any left to freeze are probably 0. My family love to make a sub out of them with, you know, in a Turkish bread or a focaccia with melted cheeses, and, you know, husband likes a bit of salad thrown in there as well. And yeah, so we don't really have any left over to freeze. We have a couple in the fridge, but wouldn't make it, you know, not worth putting them in the freezer. So we just want to get that really well incorporated, so it's all nicely seasoned and herbed up. And I think, you know, we're pretty well at that point. And if you were doing this and you were thinking, oh, look, I'm really nervous, I don't know whether I have my seasoning right, this is what I would do, and what I do if I can't remember if I've put an ingredient in. I will take a small amount and flatten it out, you know, like that. And I'll just drop it in a pan or on a plate in the microwave, just so I, you know, and cook that and try. And if it's, you know, it needs more, whatever, you can add it in, and you haven't, you know, cooked your whole dish and you're disappointed. Because flavour's everything, isn't it? Now I don't want them too big. These are probably a little bigger than I normally do make them. But, you know, I've got quite a few to roll, and I really need to sit down, so I'm just going to keep going. Alrighty, so here we go. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 adults, an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old for dinner this evening. So you think, oh gosh, will that be enough? It will be enough. Now on top of that, oh, actually, just before I say that, so remember I said you use cooked rice? Well, that rice will absorb liquid from, you know, while it's cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour over, and this could not be easier, 2 cans of any brand condensed tomato soup. So Heinz, Campbell's, supermarket brand, you know, whatever. We want 2 cans. And I'm just using Coles Essential Range, or whatever they call it, their own range. And I haven't made them in this pan before. I'm hoping it's going to fit into the air fryer, but I'm starting to doubt that that's going to be successful. I'm halfway through. I may need to fish some out and yeah, put them in a different pan. All right, now I'm going to put 1 heaped teaspoon of chicken bouillon into one of these empty pans. I'm going to get a little bit of water, about I'm going to go probably 3/4 of way of can, I'd say. And I will definitely sit these on something because you know what, they're going to boil over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep what's left in here. I'm going to cover this with foil and I'm going to start them cooking. And as you know, I'll put a tray underneath. As this, what am I trying to say? As this, you know, cooks and it gets a bit less, we will, you know, I'll top that up so that they've always got moisture around them. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm just going to coat those. Alrighty. Okay, I'm just going to get some foil and we'll see if this fits in the air fryer. Otherwise, it'll be an oven meal. Okay, as I thought, that tray wouldn't fit into the air fryer. So I have got it in the oven and I've set the oven to about 165. I've put some foil underneath because I know it is going to bubble over. So, you know, I'm trying to save on cleaning if I can. And I'm going to set the timer for about 45 minutes first off. And yeah, we'll see how they go. Yeah, so a really easy, get you back there. So it's a really easy recipe. Just rolling them up's the only work. Once they're in the oven and, you know, they look after themselves. They've got their own sauce, you know, it just sort of happens. I do have this extra water, so I'm going to add that. And I may even add that for the last 10 minutes of the cooking if I don't need it beforehand, just so we have enough sauce to, you know, enjoy them with. So I'll bring you back in a little while and we'll have a look at them.